What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Shyhammer Fantasy Battle Reports, and I know that was a kind of a high pitch what's going on, but I'm just excited to be back home and giving you guys these battle reports. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I would rather still be out there. Greece was an amazing time. It was an amazing trip, and the first thing I want to tell everybody listening right now is thank you. Thank you guys for your support to get me out there. Everybody who's contributed to my channel, contributed to the GoFundMe, and contributed to my PayPal. You guys are awesome, and I really, really appreciate every single one of you because it got me out there, and it was an awesome experience, and I would never probably have another experience like that ever again unless I get invited back another year. Anyways, guys, if you haven't watched them already, I have a bunch of interviews, and they're only like 5 to 10 minute interviews with multiple people from different countries, and watch them. They're a blast, but you get a feel for exactly how the events went, how ETC felt, you know, every round. Some people were really serious about it every round. There were some tables you couldn't go over there without feeling like you're just like you could cut the air with a knife, and then there were some tables where it's just like fun and laid back, and it was mostly towards the back of the room where the bottom tables were. But yeah, this is right here is an overview of the venue. You guys can see it a lot in the video, in the first couple videos I put up, and then over here is another picture. This is like the 40K side. 40K was actually playing an event this day. I think they were doing like a singles event, and then we were going in there just for practice. So for practice, as you can see, this is Team America. We were having a little huddle pep talk by Chris, Captain Chris on the left, Captain America over there. Chris Mintz is a ETC veteran, so he basically was our captain, and that's him on the left. Right next to him, that's Len the Tyrant, Leonard, and then next to him is Zach Martin. Zach Martin is actually a veteran, and like an actual U.S. vet, and not only that, but he's also played in ETC before and got first place with his Undying Dynasties back in 8th edition ETC last year or 2 years ago. I forgot what he said. Next to him is Jeremy Gottschalk, and Jeremy is a first-time ETC player. Now, there's 4 Americans on the team that are first-time ETC players. We do have 2 Irish guys on the team that are been to multiple ETCs, but Jeremy's one of the guys who are first-time ETC players. Len's the other one. Jeremy came with an Infernal Dwarf army. Mike Hernandez is with the hat. He's also a first-time ETC player, and then myself included, I'm a first-time ETC player. Now, a lot of people ask, like, what's the difference between ETC versus your average singles tournament? Now, ETC plays on a team scale. So basically, if you're going to bring a gunline army, you try to get the perfect matchups for a gunline army. If you're going to bring a monster match list, you try to get the perfect matchups for versus a monster match list. And we play this. There's this card game that they play of matching people up, like who's going to play who, and they throw it on the card on who's going to play who, and you get choices and stuff like that. So you do get an option to avoid matchups that are unfavorable. Very simple is like if you have an army full of cavalry and your opponent has an alchemy level 4, you really don't want to match those two up. You know what I mean? The alchemy just rip right through all the armor on the cavalry. So that's one of the situations that you would try to avoid. Right next to Mike Hernandez, that's Colin. Colin Power is a Irish player who is merking for our team, and then there's also Ciaran, that's not in the picture, and then there's my brother Jesse, who's our coach, as well as myself, that's not in the picture. First, we're playing a practice game. We're playing against England. You can see England in the background. They're wearing the black and the red shirts. We had a practice game on UB against England. We were supposed to have a practice game against Germany, but Germany ducked out. So we ended up having a second practice game against England, and you know, so we go through the whole process of matching up. We go through the whole process of who's playing who. Now, in all fairness, the way this works is you get we call it the matrix. The matrix basically is you look at every single army list for every single team for every single player, and you write down, is this a good matchup for you or not? Do they have stuff that will mess up your army or not? Will your army have a hard time with this unit or not? And basically, so you write down, like, is it a green matchup, a red matchup, or a yellow matchup? So it's very self-explanatory. A green matchup means you're going to kick their ass. A red matchup means that they're going to kick your ass. And a yellow matchup means it could go either way, but hopefully it'll be right in the middle. So the first player I got was actually somebody I put down as a green player. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Guys, you go through this, there's 25 teams, 8 players per team. You start to go like mind-numbed by how many times you're just like, yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no. And by the time you start getting through it, you're just like, kind of like, double cannons, no. Triple cannons, no. And it gets to a point where you're not paying attention to the details in the list. So, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I marked down Chris Leggy as a good matchup. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I put it down and I was like, yeah, I probably could have it. It would be fun. In all honesty, if I was to play his army with Koopa involved, it'd be a different story. I think it'd be a totally different game entirely. But we're gonna go ahead and show what he brought to the table. I got my first matchup is against Chris Legg. Chris Legg is on England. He's a great Infernal Dwarf player. He's a great guy. You know, like I said, this is a practice for the ETC. I'm gonna go over my list. We're gonna go over his list. Now, in all fairness, I'll go over Magic first. Magic, I got Get 'em Lads, Oi, No Dying, and then I got Evil Eye and the Curse of the Green Moon. And those are just awesome spells. I love the Green Moon. The Green Moon is like my favorite freaking spell right now. As you can see, I have a giant block. I mean, this is a huge fucking block of 40 Orc Ed Bashers with spears. Even though there's only one guy in the front with a spear, he counts for everybody. Sorry, I kind of had a break there because somebody walked in. But so yeah, this whole block has spears. One of the things I felt overconfident with this unit is, since that's a giant block of spears in that unit, is basically having them fight against cavalry. I have no fear with most of the armies that are coming into ETC with cavalry or chariots or whatever because of that. And I've marked them a lot as good matchups. Now over here, this is the other reason why I feel confident with my chariots and cavalry armies. Opponents, is because look at these guys right here. I got 8 cave trolls. These cave trolls are just freaking brutal, and I love it. 4-up regen, 4-up magic resistance, 4-up armor. They could just take a freaking punch and give it out as well. Over here I got 2 units of goblins, cave goblins with short bows and madgets. Both of them have madgets. One of them did have a musician. Over here I got 2 wolf riders. On the wolf rider on the top, that's the onion knight. The onion knight just has a 3-up armor. That is it. He's just there for chaff. The guy on the bottom is Chickenhead. Chickenhead has 2-up armor and a dragon helm and a great weapon. Over here I have, 6 squig hoppers. They have impact hits. They're pretty good. I actually like these guys a lot. They're a very diverse unit. Over here I got 2 rock lobbers. I got 2 gargantula spiders. I have the A-Rock on the right, the mother of dragons. She has an incredible time at this tournament. Just spoiler alert, she is just ridiculous. On the left, that is the Chicken Rock. The Chicken Rock is led by Chickenhead and Skarsnik, and they basically have a second Gargantula on the table. As for my opponent, but that's about it. That's my whole list, guys. Now, personally, I'm gonna get this out of the way so I can bitch right now out to you guys. I did not make my list entirely. I had to follow guidelines for it to fit in the team motto. I do believe that if I was to understand what the team motto was beforehand, I could have helped build my list a little bit better. Everybody was talking about how there's no role for Koopa, and the thing is, for those of you who watch my channel before ETC, Koopa does a lot. He's a very key utility player, and I would have gladly traded in 2 trolls and a wolf rider for Koopa. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not whatsoever. I would just done it because Koopa is that awesome. But they didn't give me that option or opportunity. Basically, I got a lot of heat from the captain and a couple of the other team members, where they were like, he gets shot down too easy, he could get killed by a cannon, he could get killed by a heaven spell or whatever, you know, and that's whatever. Over here Got a this is Chris Legg's army. Chris Legg's army. He has 2 units of Infernal incarnates on the right. Those are the Kadim incarnates or whatever, or Kadai incarnates. So they do have fly. On the left, you can see that's a small unit of blunderbuss guys, whatever they are. Like they have like shotguns, the short range. They're only like 18 inches. In the back, he has a giant block. Let me see if I can find another picture of it. Here you go. He has a giant block of these guys, whatever they are, the Infernal Guard or whatever they're called. Basically, these guys are pretty damn hard to deal with. They do have bodyguard. He does put like 4 characters in the unit. They do get a lot of attacks. I mean, they don't get that many attacks, but they basically get to reroll to wound because they have a flaming banner and they have a character in that unit that gives them gives anybody touching them flammable. So that combo alone just destroys, and it's a really hard unit to deal with because of that combo. He has a unit of Wolf Riders here, or not Wolf Riders, excuse me, Hobgoblins. I don't know why I said Wolf Riders. He has a unit of Hobgoblins here, and the Hobgoblins just have short bows. He has a unit of another incarnate over on this side, and then he has the Kadim Titan, the Kadai Titan, or the Kadai Destroyer, whatever you want to call it. It's a fucking what are those guys called? I just drew a blank. The aliens. Ah, man, I just drew a blank. Anyways, so the funny part is here is you walk around the tables and you see a shit ton, and I mean a shit ton. Almost every army had an Infernal Dwarf guy. Every country had an Infernal Dwarf guy, and every country that had an Infernal Dwarf guy, their Kadai Destroyer was always a model that was not the Kadai Destroyer. It was either this giant arachnid thing over here, or it was one of them had like a giant hippo that was on lava, and I was just cracking up. I made a video with Rasmus that never got put up, but we were just dying laughing about this Kadai Destroyer that was a hippo, because we were just like, can you imagine having like flaming diarrhea shit? It was just coming out like lava. Anyways, so yeah, this thing was I mean, you see like so many different variants of a Kadai Destroyer. Over here he has 2 rocket batteries, then he has all his characters on the bottom right, and the characters, you know, he has a character that has an Onyx Hammer. The Onyx Hammer is like, it does D3 wounds against people who are flammable. He has a bunch of other characters. He has 2 lords in there, 2 combat lords basically, and then 2 wizards, and yeah, that's it. For magic, he got Curse of Darkness, Shield of Darkfire, Subjugation. He also got Shield of Darkfire again, and Breath of Hatred. Over here, I don't have a picture of deployment, but he does take first turn. He did drop his army after so many drops, and he just I think he might have just dropped his army entirely. Excuse me. So it's going to start off turn 1, Infernal Dwarves, and I Vanguard up. I Vanguard up with Chicken Head over here behind this hill, because I'm waiting for those incarnates, and if his incarnates don't get in my way of Chicken Head, I'm just going to go ahead for a rocket battery. But basically, Chicken Head is there to go for the incarnates. He's not messing around. So he moves his incarnates up, he moves his incarnates up, he moves his Titan up, he moves everybody up. That objective in the middle is that little like gold button. That is the objective where we have to hold your ground. So you have to have whoever has the most banners on that center point at the end of the game wins the game, basically. Wins the objective. As you can see, this is everybody on our lining up and getting matched up and deploying. Basically, that was it for movement. We're going to go to magic. Magic, we got 8 power dice, and he channeled. He goes ahead and does a Shield of Darkfire, which is I think this is a remain in play spell. It is, which makes it 1 wound harder to wound this guy, which is pretty insane. That's it. For magic, he misses his next spell, and then I dispel the following one. So, Rocket Battery starts off shooting phase, shoots at the A rock, and ends up hitting, wounding, and doing minimum wounds. 2 wounds. This Rocket Battery shoots but misfires and gets jammed up. And that's it for his turn. It's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins turn 1, and charge! Chicken Head! It doesn't have the same ring to it as Koopa does. Koopa! Yeah. Anyways, Chicken Head's charging in. I'm like, well, fuck the bullshit. I'm going to go ahead and just hit these guys. Get in. He has Fireborn. He'll be able to handle some attacks. We'll see how that goes. My whole goal was for Chicken Head was to hold up this unit, tie him up for the entire game. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. Anyways, I moved the Chicken Rock up to the right. I moved the Squig Hoppers for the rocket batteries. I moved the Goblin Wolf, or why do I keep on saying Wolf Riders? I moved the Goblins up basically to kind of give me an ability to throw out the fanatics when that unit gets closer. The other goblins are protecting the left side with the war machines. Then the A-Rock and the trolls are kind of in the center with the big block in the center. I honestly did not have a fear if my big block got into a fight with his big block. Just didn't have that fear. Magic Fade's got 8 or 7 power dice because I can't do math. And then I'm going to go ahead and do Evil Eye, and I roll triple 2s, which basically fails the spell on the big spell. Then I go ahead and I throw up the remaining dice onto the Curse of the Green Moon, and I was like, Green Moon! And it failed horribly. Jesus Christ. Close combat over here. Well, they're shooting first, but shooting, like, if there's no pictures of it, that means nothing happened, which basically nothing happened. So close combat over here. He ends up doing 2 wounds. I ward save 2 wounds. I go ahead and I do a shit ton of wounds, or I'm sorry, I do like 1 or 2 wounds back, and he ward saves both of those. And guys, it's back. It's the ambulance. That's insane. I haven't heard this ambulance since like last week. Anyways, so nothing happens. I did charge. He's gonna stick there. It's no big issue, and it's gonna go ahead and start off turn 2 Infernal Dwarfs. Turn 2 Infernal Dwarfs. He moves up that Titan right up the gut. He doesn't care. He's not worried about anything. I was originally planning on putting both big spiders into his Titan, but I kind of had a change of heart towards the beginning of the deployment, so I was just like, well, we'll see how that goes. And then Magic Phase. I got 12 power dice. I go ahead and whatever he did first, I ended up having to use my Dispel Scroll because it was just one of those spells that was just like, I think he was trying to do from minus leadership on my whole unit. Yeah, he was. Subjugation. So then he goes ahead and he does another spell that gets double 6s. Now this spell was it was another Breath of Hatred to give these guys rerolls to hit on flammable units, I believe it was. Whoa, just calm down, Spammy. Anyways, then he goes ahead and he does Curse of Darkness, and I try to stop this spell, but it just failed miserably. He does it specifically to my BSB, gets it off, and does 2 wounds. Goes through all my armor, kills my BSB. Son of a bitch. Wow. That sucks. Anyways, over here, close combat. He fucking did a wound to the chicken head. He did 1 wound. With a 2-up ward against fire, he did 1 wound. Oh man, I whiff. I roll like 3, 3, and a 2, and it's just like, that's garbage. This is another reason why I was really missing Koopa, because Koopa would have hit with 3s, and plus Koopa would have had 4 more attacks with the spider, as well as himself having an extra attack. But I'm gonna go ahead and put out all the similarities if Koopa was here versus Chicken Head or versus other situations, because that's what needs to be done. I needed Koopa, and I'm gonna state that in every video I do for ETC where Koopa would have fit in. What would Koopa do? All right, that's what it's gonna be. WWKD. What would Koopa do? Anyways, Chicken Head fails, takes a wound, fails the break test, runs away, runs through the chicken rock, and when this happens, okay, I automatically call it that it's gonna happen, okay? He's gonna run into the water and die. And what happens? BAM! Fucking chicken head died in the water, failed the DT test. What a chump. Alright, as you can see, this is how the table looks. I did chaff up his Titan with my Onion Knight. I threw the Onion Knight right in front of him. But it's going to go ahead and start off his turn, or my turn, my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. And I decided to move the Chicken Rock way out of the line of sight of his Incarnates. I just did not want to deal with them onto the Chicken Rock. That would just be really bad, especially since there's so many attacks, strength 5. That's just not good for business. So I go ahead and I move the Squig Hoppers. Squig Hoppers are really cool to me because you can't just pick one. You can't pick off a couple and make them run. They're immune to psychology. Wherever they're going to go, they're going to go. But at the same time, that's also their downfall because you can't flee when you want to flee. Magic Phase. Actually, I don't want to do Magic. Yeah, Magic Phase got 10 power dice. I go ahead and I do Evil Eye onto this big motherfucker. And I end up doing 1 wound, which was pretty funny to me. Go ahead and I throw up a shit ton of dice onto the Green Moon, and it fails. And then I'm going to go to shooting phase. Shooting phase, I do the rock lobbers into his big motherfucker. I get a direct hit. I'm like, yes, I got this fucker. I go to wound and I roll a 1. That's like when Trump gets elected, by the way, guys. My analogy for a 1 on a roll to wound is exactly like Trump getting elected. You know, all the odds are in favor of Hillary. But somebody's going to roll that 1 and Trump will get elected. Trump is the one. Shit. Anyways, I shoot him with the web launcher. I think I tried to shoot the web launcher to his big group and it ended up hitting. No, I think I hit it directly on his Titan anyways. And I did this on purpose because I knew if he charges in, he's going to have to take DTs. And if he overruns, he's going to take more DTs. So I did this. I released my Fanatic here. My Fanatic popped out, pops through the Incarnates, and stops just an inch short of his Infernal Guard. But that's about it. That's all my shooting did. I think I did 2 wounds onto the Incarnates, but it's going to go ahead and start off my turn, or his turn, Infernal Dwarfs turn 3. Infernal Dwarfs turn 3. He charges in. He takes the bait, gets a flank onto my Onion Knight, hits him. It does a wound on the DTs that he fails the ward. Hits this guy, and he's going to go ahead and probably take another DT. He charges these guys into my Goblins, and I believe I might have actually... No, I try to stand and shoot, or just stand. Excuse me? Excuse me. Magic Phase got 10 power dice. I go ahead and he does Subjugation, gets this off. It's permanent -1 leadership. Then he goes ahead and he does Shield of Darkfire on this guy over here. And then he shoots his Rocket Battery. His Rocket Battery shoots off at my... Chicken Rock, does 2 wounds again. The Blunderbuss goes in and starts shooting, and they do 2 more wounds. And then close combat over here. He ended up healing his wound with the magic spell, but he kills the guy in close combat. He overruns on purpose, and he takes another DT. That's awesome. Over here, close combat, he ends up killing off 10 of these Goblins. Goblins fail to stick there. They're going to run, and he fails to catch. It's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Chicken Rock! Chicken Rock is charging it to the Blunderbusses. He don't give a fuck. And the Trolls and the A-Rock are charging it to his Titan. I'm like, you know what? If the Troll... I mean, he's going to fuck up the Trolls. Oh, well. A-Rock's going to be stubborn. Great. My General's right there. Great. Excuse me. I don't know. I keep fucking yawning. I'm not... I haven't got over the jet lag yet. So, Chicken Rock, of course, gets standing shot and ends up doing 2 more wounds onto the Chicken Rock, but the Chicken Rock gets in. The Fanatic flies through this unit, pops off 1 or 2 guys, and then over here, as you can see on the bottom left corner, the fucking A-Rock gets in alone because the Trolls could not fit because there was a Goblin Shaman in the way. The Trolls and the A-Rock couldn't both fit together. So it was just the A-Rock went in. That sucks. I mean, if this was the case, I should have just went all in. If this was the case, I should have just hit that fucking Titan with everything. With my Orcs, with the Trolls. Because it looks like the Orcs had a flank, possibly. Let's see. Yeah, well, if the Orcs had a rear charge, I'm pulling this picture back up here. If the Orcs had a rear charge, I probably should have just went in with everything. I would have had big rear, I would have had a shit ton of attacks, and just try to kill it one go. Just one go. But, yeah. Anyways. It would have killed a lot of Orcs to do that, though. Magic Phase got 10 power dice. I go ahead and I throw up an Evil Eye, pop off a couple of these guys. I go ahead and I throw up Oi! No dying, and get 'em, lads. And I try to risk it with just the lowest amount of dice possible, and it paid off. Got it on the A-Rock. The Oi No Dying was the more important spell to get because this guy's going to hit me and I need a ward save. Shooting Phase. These guys went in the building. They're going to start shooting at some Incarnates. They do 1 wound. I shoot a Rock Lobber into the Incarnates. It drifts off 8 inches right on top of those Hobgoblins. Direct hit because of it. That's hilarious. Ends up killing off looks like 7 or 8 of them. Over here, close combat. The A-Rock kills off 4 guys. They go ahead and attack. They might have done a wound, maybe 1, but it doesn't really happen. I end up destroying the unit. My Goblins go kill off a couple more. They run. I chase them, and when I run right into the freaking rocket battery and chase off that unit off the table. Wow. Okay. Over here, he did 4 wounds. I ward saved 2, and I took 2. Okay. he has -2 to wound because of his dark fire spells or whatever. And excuse me, I keep yawning. All right, I go back and I'm like, I just gotta hit him and wound him with poison. So I go ahead and I do, and I end up getting 1 wound off through poison. I don't think that's an ambulance. I think that's a cop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a cop. I end up only doing 1 wound. He sticks in combat. He's going to go ahead and reform, and he turns this way so I don't got a flank, and it's going to go ahead and turn 4 Infernal Dwarfs. So here it goes. He's charging the Incarnates into the A-Rock. This is going to suck. He's charging these guys back into the Goblins because I rallied, and he's going to just go ahead and try to charge again. And then I end up fleeing on purpose because I knew I would pop through the Orcs and it would make it harder for him to redirect or whatever. He's out of his leadership bubble. He passes the leadership bubble. He charges into the trolls, and he wants to get in. Like, look at this. He wants to get into just the flank of the trolls like that. That sucks. I mean, that's why he got him on as flying. So that I'm just like, son of a bitch. This is a smart player. This is the kind of stuff they pull when you play smart players. And I'm like, oh man, that really does suck. But he fails that charge. They fall short. He triple marches his dwarfs right in front of my face of my orcs, so that way he's like, deal with me. There's like no other way. You got to deal with this unit, this giant block that's coming this way. Magic Phase got 6 power dice. He goes in and he throws up Shield of Fire on these guys, heals the wound on this guy over here. Shooting Phase, he ends up shooting off 2 of these guys with his rocket battery because he just had nothing else to really do. Over here, close combat. Woo! He racks up the wounds. Actually, I think we do this one in a minute. But over here, back in this close combat, the Chicken Rock destroys the rocket battery, turns around, and I face the Chicken Rock so that way I could get a rear charge that says Hobgoblins while I avoid the Fanatic. I figure the Squig Hoppers are going to get the other rocket battery, so we'll be all good. Okay, back to this close combat. This close combat, he goes and he attacks with everything. Everything attacks. He racks up a total of 7 wounds. The A-Rock has 1 wound remaining. 1 wound remaining. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta kill this fucking Titan. So I roll all my dice on the Titan. I'm like, fuck it. The ordnance hit everything. I go ahead and I roll it. I get 4 wounds off. 3 regular, 1 ordnance. He goes to fucking ward save and he fails all his ward saves. I go for that ordnance hit and BAM! Took the fucking Titan out. Holy shit, A-Rock, you sexy son of a bitch, you. Holy shit. Oh, man. And that's kind of how the table looks. It's going to go ahead and start off turn 4? Orcs and Goblins. Charge! Squig Hopper's going into the rocket battery. Chicken Rock's going into the back of the Hobgoblins. And the Trolls. Trolls are coming in to try to help out the A-Rock. Looking at this again, I don't know if I made the right choice. I decided to charge the Orcs into his main block, and I was thinking about this long and hard. I could have potentially charged the Orcs into his skirmishers or flyers on the right. Looking back at it, I should have like a yawn counter on here. Looking back at it, I don't think I could have made the wheel. I was contemplating that I could have, but I don't think I would have been able to make the wheel. That's interesting. But I charged my block into his block. And basically I wanted to see, this was like practice, I want to see like how my block holds up against an Onyx hammer here, the Onyx or the Infernal hammer basically, because you know everybody talks about like, oh, you wouldn't want to go into that block, you wouldn't want to go into that block. So I wanted to see like how bad really is it, you know what I mean? So the other thing I could have done possibly potentially is I don't really know. Could have just took a character out, use him as chaff to redirect, and then tried. I could have still technically charged into his. No, I couldn't. Not if I took a character out. Well, whatever. It's just interesting. It's all very interesting to me. This move right here was very crucial. That's why. Anyways, I get in with the Trolls. I get in with the Chicken Rock in the rear. Chicken Rock needed a 10 on 3 dice Swift Stride, and I got it. Bam! In. The freaking Orcs are in. This is gonna be just wonderful. One of my things I'm looking at with that Orc block is, can I get Steadfast, because he has a lot of bodies there, so I have to kill a lot of bodies to hold Steadfast if I lose. Magic Phase got 12 power dice. Woohoo! Gonna go ahead and do I don't even know what the fuck this is. Why did I take a picture of these 2 dice? Anyways, go ahead and I throw up what's the call? The Green Moon! Why did I have to think about that? The Green Moon and the green moon, I get it off, and he's like, dispel scroll. Da-da-da-da. Son of a bitch. So then I go ahead and I throw up Oi No Dying onto my orcs. He stops it, and I go ahead and I throw up Get 'em Lads. Now what I should have done was just 5 dice Oi No Dying, or 5 dice the Get 'em Lads. That's what I should have done, but I kind of split up the dice, and he stopped them both. Over here, I go ahead and I release the Fanatic. I'm within 8 inches of those guys over there. I release the Fanatic, and it doesn't. I think it makes it to the woods. It doesn't really make it far. Shoot this Rock Lobber into, doesn't even matter because I took a picture of the Rock Lobber, but not its target. I don't think it hit anything. Chicken Rock. Now this is another thing that I messed up on. I should have been able to pick my fights better, but basically the Chicken Rock overrunning into nothing did absolutely nothing but put the Chicken Rock in a bad position. Didn't even have to overrun. I could just turn around, do whatever I need to do. Over here, close combat with the, well, you can see from this picture right here, the close combat with the trolls and the A-Rock, those freaking infernal demons, whatever they're called. They freaking destroy the A-Rock, pop the A-Rock off, causes the goblins to panic inside the building. Goblins run off the table, which sucks. That was just free points I gave away just because goblins are pussies. Over here, I just go ahead and I puke. I'm like, I'm not even going to bother trying to hit and wound and all that. I'm just going to puke, and I get off enough wounds to kill one of them and leave one more wound remaining onto another one, and that is it. He does 2 wounds onto my trolls because he only has a flank, and I win combat, but he passes it, he sticks, and he doesn't go anywhere. This combat over here, these guys are going to go his general, or he challenges with the champ. I accept with my champ. My champ loses that fight, by the way. My general goes, kills off a couple guys, like 3 guys, then he starts going, and he takes out, like, I'm not kidding, he took out 12 guys, 12 orcs, plus my champ, so 13 wounds. I go back, and I did probably, like, 5 wounds. I lost big time. Yeah, I did get a charge, but holy shit, I probably need, like, snake eyes to stick. My guys do not stick. I don't even have a BSB, and he lowered my leadership by 1. So I'm running. He chases me, or he doesn't chase me. He leaves me there because this was my turn where I charged him and I bounced off of him. And it's going to start off his turn. Infernal Dwarfs turn 5. Infernal Dwarfs turn 5. Here it goes. He's charging these punks into my Orc block. My Orc block runs off the table. Again, I'm going to say this. Again, if Koopa was here, that couldn't even happen because those guys would probably have been still in combat with Koopa. Just saying. They popped off the table. They're gone. And basically, that's where the game just goes wrong. I have no orc unit. He turned around to face my Chicken Rock, and he's going to charge in those dwarves into the Chicken Rock. He's going to try to redirect these guys into the rear of the trolls. Gets in for the Chicken Rock, fails on the trolls. Magic Face, he gets 12 power dice, goes ahead and he throws up something hatred on there. I don't even know what that one is. Gets it off on them. They go ahead and they start attacking. They do 2 wounds, kill off a troll on my trolls. My trolls start to puke back, and they kill off 1 more, but he just sticks there, reforms, turns this way. I reform, made myself smaller, and then he goes ahead and kills off my Chicken Rock, and my Fanatic dies to a tree. Shooting phase, I'm going to go ahead and shoot my Rock Lobber. I'm like, fuck it, might as well try. Shoot my Rock Lobber right into his freaking Titan, or not Titan, his Incarnates here. Kill off, I hit it, direct hit, wound 1, and ends up doing Ordnance, popping the 1, doing another wound to the other guy, and that is about it. That's the end of the game. He basically got it. If it's not a 20-0, it should be like relatively close to a 20-0. Even though I did good damage, I did kill off a lot of his units. All he had really left was that giant block in the middle, and I would be able to finish off his Incarnates on the left with the trolls. But by then, it really didn't matter because he's gonna wipe off the table in the next turn. So that's the end of the game. Holy shit. So this is a practice game for ETC. This is one of the better players on Team England that I was facing off against. And you know what? I don't feel like I did horrible. I did make a lot of mistakes, obviously. I made a mistake with that, challenging his block with my block. I also made a mistake of not throwing enough dice on the magic. And that was because I was trying to play conservative. I was trying to make sure I didn't blow my wizard up by throwing too many dice. Yeah, that it kind of just backfired because I didn't get the Dispel Scroll out early enough, and the Green Moon really would have helped a lot against those dwarfs, that giant dwarf block bus. And I would love to see that. I would just love to see like just chunks of freaking dwarves fall off because of Green Moon, but it didn't happen. Here's a picture of Slatch's squig, who's painted exactly like my chicken rock. Check that out. That is nuts. He's like, holy shit, I have the same color scheme. And he pulls out this freaking squig. And I was like, that's hilarious. So we put them right next to each other, took a picture of it. The English guys, they're awesome. They're such a good people to hang around with. We actually hung out with the majority of the time we were there. They were probably one of the teams that was like like they stayed in the same hotel. We hung out with them pretty much every day. They were just fun guys to hang with. As you can see, here's all of us talking about our games afterwards, while we're just shooting the shit, waiting, killing time till our next match. I believe our next match was against Denmark. I want to say it was against Denmark, but I don't remember. MVP is going to go to the A-Rock. Now, I really contemplated the MVP being the Chicken Rock because the Chicken Rock took out those blunderbuss unit, the Chicken Rock took out a rocket battery and hobgoblins, but the A-Rock took out the Titan. Let's just be honest, the A-Rock just took out the Titan. That was nuts. Overall, again, the game would have went different if Koopa was involved. Granted, he could have just chased me off with his own unit if he wanted to, because he knew he was going to chase me off with the Incarnates. But yeah, I think overall what I would have done differently is obviously the Incarnates would have got hit with Koopa, or the Titan itself would have got hit with Koopa, and Koopa would have just held it for a good chunk of time because he has 3 wounds and I need to fail a 1 on the ward save, fail a 2 up on a ward save. So it's like it's a lot harder to do, and to top it off, I could just keep him close enough to the general where I could keep the general's leadership, which I don't think matters too much. But yeah, so the game would have been different. I wouldn't have a giant fear with the Infernal Dwarves. I could also the big block is a hard thing to deal with. If I would have had both spiders in that unit, the game would have just been totally different. But I don't think at the same time, Chris Legg is a very formidable opponent. I don't think he would allow that much of an advantage for me to get in there with both spiders. Maybe one spider, but not both. And then that other unit of Incarnates was going to be a problem to deal with regardless. And the Trolls were pretty much useless in this whole game because the Trolls had, I mean, granted, they worked on some of the Incarnates, but the Incarnates were worth a lot less than the Trolls were. They couldn't go into the big block because the big block has Flaming Banner. The whole army has Flaming, so the Trolls are pretty much useless in this game, except for they could just try to take out some bodies before they go and die, or they could just sit in a corner and be stupid in a corner. That's probably what I should have done. I should have just sat in the corner watching the war machines and just been like walking into the wall. Oh man. So guys, I'm interested in hearing your feedback. What do you guys think? What do you think Koopa could have done to help out this game? What do you think if I were to have Dread on this game? Would I have to worry about those rocket batteries more? I mean, if the rocket batteries were there, I mean, they are there, but and Dread was there, I would have to worry about getting shot by that. And one of those ordnance hits, even though it did only 2 wounds to the A-Rocks, would have done 3 wounds to Dread if I failed the ward save. So that's interesting to think about as well. What do you think Dread would have been doing overall? Would he be fighting the Incarnates? Would he be fighting the block? I wouldn't even touch that block, to be honest, with the D3 wounds character. Fuck. No. That's making me flammable? No. But overall, what do you guys think I should have been, what could have went different? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. So the next game is actually against Denmark, but I think it was Denmark. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember entirely. But I do remember I ended up playing against Kent, which is the coach, and Kent was using Mike Hernandez's army against myself. So he's using our own USA Army against me, and you're going to see how that plays off in the next game coming up for the last practice round, round 2 of practice. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe, leave some feedback. If you guys feel the need to support to my channel, I have a support button on the YouTube page. You can just go to my channel's page, and it's on the right side. Besides that, guys, I really appreciate your help for getting me out there, and I'll be looking forward to put up the next battle report. If you guys haven't watched my interviews, go watch my interviews. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. You can see how the atmosphere was at ETC. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.